Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best here out around.
Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Occupied Mike.
Occupied Mike. Holy cow. What are you in a foreign country?
Yeah. No, I'm going to be a different Mike every single time we do this night.
Really?
Things are just changing and changing. The kids are officially moved out of their apartments at school. They both graduated.
And I see one already has a job.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
She already has a job. She's going to be a new special education teacher at the Plainfield School District 202.
Cool.
And and we're not empty nesters anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Man, now you got to feed them again.
I got to feed them again and their friends because for some reason we're just stuck at the party.
They're
house.
moving in now.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. We're going to finish up the basement so they can have, bunks for their friends that come over and hang out and stuff.
So nice trip to ISU?
Oh yeah, it was really, it was nice. It was good. I mean, especially since they handed them that piece of paper I spent $100,000 for.
That's right. That's right. At least they got it.
Yeah. We're going to pause this for just a second, Ray.
Okay, I'm going to pause this too.
You guys can't hear yourselves. We're rolling once again.
Yeah, we are.
So anyways, had a little technical difficulty there, but
That's right.
We've
little
got
headphone problem.
taken care of. I know this thing was made in the 80s though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so the kids are back.
Yeah, the kids are back, and we're getting back into
parent mode?
regular parent mode. That's exactly it. Cool. I'm looking forward to the things where I can start. My daughter will have her own contract, so let's get you off my medical insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we'll go next to the cell phone bills, and stuff like that.
And the son?
The son is looking for a job.
Okay,
right
good.
now, but he wants to go into law enforcement. That can take months, to get the call. So he's got to find something to do. So we're just kind of figure that out for him right now.
All righty.
Yeah. So,
well, why don't we get on to what we're supposed to be doing here?
Yeah. What is that?
Talking to the My 80's band.
The My 80's band.
Yes, sir.
All right. No, that's not working. We're done. We're just done. Let's just get on talking to these guys. I think it's more important that we hear from these guys anyway.
That's right.
So what's going on, guys? How you doing? Tell everybody who you are.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Zig. I'm the drummer and the tech guy for My 80's.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it doesn't say Zig on his birth certificate though.
It does not.
It does not. Okay, no. but we're going for Zig. Yeah,
it's my stage name.
Let's simpler than trying to spell his real name. Let's put it that way. So I still fail after like 5-6 years being with the guy. So yeah. So I am Dave. I'm the lead singer, guitar player, front man, tap dance, everything that needs to be done up front and bring people into the show.
Yeah, that's right. Sounds good. So, 80s music just kind of like never went away.
No, actually, I think it's gotten bigger in some ways. The nostalgia thing. I mean, even though it's been 45 years, when you really get down to it, even though we don't want to admit it. Right. But the thing that makes us unique is the fact that most 80s bands that are out there now are taking the second half of the 80s. They're doing more of the hair stuff. They're doing the Bon Jovi, the Poison, the Journey, things of that ilk. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of great bands having tremendous success. But Zig and I, we decided that we wanted to do something different. And the first half of the 80s was dominated by phenomenal music, especially when the MTV era came out. And it was filled with INXS, Duran Duran, Billy Idol, the Fixx, goes on, The Cure, The Cult, things of that nature.
A lot of the bands.
Yeah,
and for us, that's just what we wanted to gravitate toward for a number of reasons. One, because it's more female really oriented to enjoy this music that we do. And just, again, is this different? Not what every other band does. And really, there's no one in Chicago that does what we do in the Chicagoland region. So,
I don't know about you, but I heard him say they pretty much do it for the girls.
That's what I got out of it.
Well, for the middle-aged women.
There you go.
Well, as we all know,
I hate to tell you this, but if we're all the same age here, we are not middle-aged. No. None of us here are going to live to be 112.
I still like to think I'm middle-aged.
He's got a shot at it. Maybe not.
Yeah. So what side of the fence did you guys fall on when you were in high school or whatever era that was for you in the early 80s?
Well, interestingly for me, I did not really listen to that much of the stuff that we're actually playing. I was more into either like pop or metal, you know. So the new wave stuff, I mean, I liked it, but it was mostly stuff I heard on the radio. So it wasn't something I was really into.
Right.
But now I love it.
So what's your definition of metal?
Well, I grew up on
well, give us an era, give us a year that we're reflecting on. 86.
86, Master of Puppets, my favorite album.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of, the stuff, Motley Crue, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of on that, whatever that cusp of 80s metal, could have been. Not necessarily Motley Crue, not necessarily hair band. Oh, they tried to turn Motley Crue into a hair band because you look at those 4 pictures on the Shout at the Devil album. It's like, that's pretty much hair metal right there, but they didn't fit that mold.
No, not with that album. At least that's a legendary album there.
Yeah. I was trying to, I was always kind of, I heard the music before I saw the album. I had a friend named Brian. He was the guy that had the cassette tape collection. He had 1,000 cassette tapes in the giant boom box and everything. And I heard the music before I actually saw the album. And he shows me the cassette tape, right? And I'm looking at it going, nah, that's not the same guys doing this music.
Right? Yeah.
No, not at all. This looks like Culture Club or something like that.
It's funny when I saw the Look What the Cat Dragged In album cover from Poison. I wasn't sure if those were girls or guys.
Yeah.
A lot of them,
Yeah, they certainly
really had
did
that thing going on. Yeah.
And funny, the stuff that people called metal back in the 80s is like yacht rock nowadays.
Yeah.
you hear anything from Poison nowadays and nobody's going to say that's metal.
No. I think the definition back then, at least when I was growing up, like if you had long hair,
right,
it was metal.
right. Or if you had long hair, you're a hair band.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that people had long hair in the 60s as well, but you're a hair band. So
they poof it up a little bit more, like make it a little more feminine. They wore just as much makeup as the women did. So
even more so.
Yeah.
Even more so. It's hard to make an ugly guy look pretty.
What makes me think of, there's this one interview with David Bowie. Now, this is back when 75, 76, when he was doing the whole androgynous thing. And he said when he first went out on stage, he went out with all the makeup and everything else full bore. And then, the guys in the band were like, oh, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that, So then they saw how all the women were flocking to them and everything else. And they said the next show, hey, give me your mascara.
Sign me up.
Give me your lipstick. Hey, I need more. My face look good and everything else. So it says Bowie was talking about how they're really like, they get the women, they're fine with it.
Yeah. And then you love how it came full circle because all of a sudden Kiss decides to take their makeup off for the first time, right?
Yep.
And everybody saw how successful that was. And that's about the same time that Motley Crue stopped with the makeup and Poison stopped with the makeup, and anybody that was wearing the makeup stopped doing it because they saw that. The whole thing kind of came full circle.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right. So what side of the fence were you on? Were you more pop or what?
Well, I'm a little bit older than Zig, and I loved everything, and I still do. But, I had the appreciation for those bands that Excess and Duran Duran, but probably more like Zig said, I was more of a harder rocker kind of a person, Kiss, Sammy Hagar, Zeppelin, Foghat. Since really I have an older brother, older sister, so I was more of the classic rock era kind of thing.
Back then it was rock.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
exactly. It was just rock. So, but that's more my, grasp Bad Company, things of that nature like that. Then when the 80s kicked in, I like more of the harder rock stuff. But again, had the appreciation for the pop and the new wave and things of that nature. So
yeah.
I was a guitar player starting at 14. And so, of course, you had more of the cooler guitar stuff, at least when you were rocking it out,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I loved, when I started thinking about the 80s, when my family first moved to like the Roselle or Schaumburg area here, I was going into 4th grade. Gosh, what year was that? That was probably about
18.
It was, I think something like that. No, it was exactly like 1980. So the whole thing started moving in, and that early on, you also had artists like Dan Fogelberg classified as 80s music.
Yeah.
And I have to give full credit to my father for this one because he had a fantastic record collection back when we could buy 45. So when I said he had a record collection, I mean 45 singles, not necessarily albums, with the spindle, and you'd stack a bunch of them up on the turntable and stuff. And it would go from something from Michael Jackson to Dan Fogelberg to maybe something like By the Scorpions, you know, and it was just this eclectic collection of all kinds of different things. My father loved all kinds of different music and beats. So I really loved the early 80s. Really did, because I thought it was more diversified than when you start getting more towards 86 and 87 and stuff like that.
It was very experimental, you know. I mean, what we call new wave now, they didn't have a name for it then. Right. It was just kind of, you know, people just making music with these new keyboards that were coming out and stuff like that. It's just very experimental and creative.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I love about it.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? Like the Pet Shop Boys comes to mind when you think of stuff like that. Human League comes to mind when you think of stuff like that. And everybody, I don't care how cool you think you are, everybody knows all the words to those songs.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anybody our age can sing "Don't You Want Me, Baby" by.
You know,
We do it.
We can attest to that. Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys do a bunch of that stuff. That's
absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to have a keyboard player in the band.
No.
You don't?
No.
Wow. Okay.
We cheat a little bit with tracks.
Okay.
You know, so it's our savings there, you know, but, so we run tracks for that, and we kind of have our own style. Our bass player is more of he comes from a funk background, you know, so he brings in a lot of the slapping and plucking and stuff like that. So gives us kind of an original sound. But yeah, we definitely have, you know, all the tracks and stuff, doing all the synth stuff.
We put some edge into it as well. Like, you know, we talk about "Don't You Want Me, Baby," for example. Way we do it is just like the Scorpions did. Don't You Want Me, Baby. So so we give it a little more oomph, but we still have some of the keyboard stuff behind it with the tracks, but it's definitely got more attitude toward it.
Right.
So, you know, we do that, or we do "Cars" by Gary Newman.
Right.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
You know,
yeah.
So I'm doing it. So I'm doing all those parts on guitar,
right,
as opposed to just having it with keys. So it gives it more attitude, but you're still giving the gist of the song.
Okay. Right.
So that's what people really like about it. So
right. So you are kind of doing your own thing because you don't have all the instrumentation and stuff. So who's missing in the band? Who?
Our bass player, Jerome.
So you guys are a 3-piece. You got a bass player, guitar, drums. You sing, and then you've got some kind of backing track that's going to provide keyboards or whatever and stuff like that. Yep. You know, we usually, I will admit, we have run away from that in the past. You know, we have run away from talking about that stuff in the past because we've had people in here that they play the tracks, but they don't want to admit it or hide it or whatever. Yeah. But you guys are like, we're a track band. So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I nenever have been in a track band. Don't want to be. I mean, for whatever reason or another.
I've never had tracks.
No, ever. No. People think that's one, but that's not. That's just a burn on a light bulb. It's been there since I was 12. But so how's that working? I mean, how you guys doing that? Who's listening to the click? Somebody's got to be listening to the click.
We're all in here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I pretty much run it. You know, I got my laptop back there and I run it, and it's not necessarily that we want to. It's just the most practical way for us, you know, that we could afford, you know, otherwise we'd have to get a keyboard player. And we just decided that as a trio, we were a 4-piece for a while and we did have a keyboard player, but, it just works better for us as a trio. Less drama, you know, just a cleaner kind of, I don't know.
Makes it more
efficient.
I think it makes it more us and unique in that respect by having it as a trio. And plus, as we all know, less people to give money to. Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing.
Easier to get hired.
It really is. Exactly. Case in point, like we just played Four Winds Casino in South Bend, and they have a smaller stage. And the reason they hired us is because we're a 3-piece. Right. So if you're a 4-piece or like Cadillac Groove with 200 people on stage.
Not quite. 199. 199. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's just so you still have the real estate on there. Whereas with 3 people, they say we can hire you, and they hired us back again because they like what we do. We bring to the table and we can make it happen.
Yeah. So what is your most, I guess, what would be your most, I don't know if the keyboard heavy is the proper word. What's the most orchestrated song that you guys do where you require those tracks? I'm curious to how that works and how you pull that off.
I'll probably say "Send Me an Angel" by Real Life. Yeah. Okay. All right. It starts out with the keyboard, so we're kind of, there's no way around that one. You know?
Right. So you guys all have a click, and is it something where you got to like hit play on the thing, or is it just something that's always looping for you guys?
No. We have it all set up. We run it on Logic on a Mac, and we have a click. We have our backing tracks on there. We're also synchronizing lights through MIDI.
Oh wow, okay.
And we're synchronizing his head rush guitar patches. It just comes through MIDI signals and changes his patches on the fly.
Right.
So we automate a lot of stuff along with it, so it's not just tracks. We kind of try to do whatever we can with it, automate some volumes, stuff like that. Put in some vocal effects on there, like echoes,
Right.
So.
Right. So it always fascinates me when I see bands do that because it seems so seamless. Is this the kind of thing where, like, if somebody walked up to you and threw $100 in a tip jar and said, play
Tennessee whiskey.
Oh, please don't say that.
I can do it if you need to. But
No. You could, but I don't know where we put all the vomit.
You're sing it.
Not anymore. It's been a long time since we have actually. I just can't do it. I just can't bring myself to do it anymore. But it's like somebody comes up and throws $100 on the stage and says, "Okay, play Don't You Want Me, Baby?" Like right now. I got to hear it right now. I got to leave. You guys haven't played yet. Play it right now. How you doing that if you've got these tracks? Is it something that's always moving, or do you have to all of a sudden just say, okay, well, and I got to find it because we got to add stuff to it? How does that work?
Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward. It's just basically lined up, and I just kind of toggle through it. Just hit next, or whatever. Yeah. I could take the cursor and move it over there. Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with like DAW systems, like recording software, but basically that's all we use, So you see you see the timeline, you see the waveforms, and you kind of just navigate between there, you know? So it's relatively simple. So yeah, Don't You Want Me? We got you.
You got
$100.
Got it.
No problem.
You got it. We'll do it. But other than that, otherwise, do you pretty much have it set up in order of your set list?
Yeah, usually, because it makes it easier. Just go from one to the next. But sometimes, like, he'll throw something out, or sometimes we'll just skip around for whatever, and they're waiting on me because I'm like, oh man, I can't read it. You know, I'm like trying to look at it and trying to zoom in, and so I mean, it could be a pain sometimes.
Find the damn song.
Yeah. And you guys, now, did you guys have to create all of those backing tracks yourself?
We usually will. Some of them are created or added onto, but a lot of the stuff I'll just get ready made, and we'll just pick out what we want. We don't use all of them necessarily. We just pick out whatever we want. And a lot of times I have to go in there and actually edit them because they're not necessarily in time. Sometimes they're kind of off. So I got to chop them up and kind of try to get them to fit in there so they sound good. So sometimes they're not necessarily like the exact track. We kind of make it our own, you know, and then of course we do like, sometimes we modify the song itself so it doesn't, the structure changes a little bit. Right. So, yeah.
And I think that's the thing right there that's always kept me from wanting to do anything like that because it's like,
it's a lot of work.
I don't have the time or the patience.
It is. Yeah.
It's a lot of work, a lot of trust.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I tell you, if something goes down, you're like, shit. I mean, if we had to pull it off without them, we could.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
We could because we had the musicianship and the quality there and everything else. But it does definitely embellish and paints a little bit more color on the picture.
Yeah.
And there's a couple tunes that we do without the tracks. So we do like Blister in the Sun. We don't use tracks for that.
Right. Yeah. Or My Sharona. Or We Got the Beat or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
God, those are two songs that I've played more times than I care to admit as well, too. But they're always so fun to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff. You hit it on the head. There's a lot of stuff that was kind of cutting edge, kind of, I don't know if new wave's the right word or whatever, but I find myself listening to a lot of things from the 80s. Like in the 80s, I hated Duran Duran. Couldn't stand Duran Duran. Was it Simon Le Bon? Is that the lead singer? Yep. His voice was like nails on a chalkboard to me. I don't know what it was, and I hated them. But now I hear something by Duran Duran. I'm like, holy shit, this was really cool. It's too bad I didn't appreciate it 35, 40 years ago.
Yeah. Right. One thing, at least for me as a guitar player, because I'm the only guitar player in the band, I'm so used to doing typical blues-based rock, whether it be.
Excuse me. I don't think your bass player would consider that as
I just call him. He's just bass. I never call it a bass guitar. I've always called that's bass. This is guitar. Okay. So, but my point being is that most rock that I was doing before that was blues bass, Zeppelin, Bad Company, Sammy Hagar, metal, whatever. It was very 1-4-5 kind of a thing. Whereas these guys, some of them really didn't play that well. So they had to kind of become soundscapes. So you had to go in there and kind of investigate the delays and the choruses and things like that to make it sound like the song. Right. Like we do I Ran by like Seagulls. With that, it's not that complicated, but to get that sound, to get the delays right, to get that, and then try and sing it on top of it is another thing altogether. To do one thing leads to another is a very complicated right-hand rhythm thing to do that. Keep it up consistently with the tracks and the click. And sing it at the same time.
Right. Yeah, thank God it's only one chord. No. But it's like feel that chord. But it's very more almost like a reggae-ish in a way. So you have to have that kind of rhythmic pulse. If you don't have that right with a click, because that's the thing in the beginning. We weren't that tight with the click.
Yeah, we were a train wreck, especially with that song, because it's kind of difficult.
No, I know. I've tried to sing it and play it at the same time, and I just stopped. I wasn't playing it enough to really get good at it, so I was going to say, screw it. I just
it's not easy. It took me quite a while, so I'll challenge any guitar player out there thinking, hey, I can play Yngwie. Well, try this.
Yeah, right.
Give it a shot. Let me see what you think. And it's not dissing Yngwie or any great players, but it is such a unique approach trying to do that, especially after playing, 1-4-5 blues kind of a thing. So,
and then you throw
learning curve.
Then you throw in singing at the same time, and it's kind of like doing this. For those of you who can't see me, I'm rubbing my belly and patting my head at the same time.
And we're entertaining, and we're also sometimes doing dance maneuvers or a little choreography between me and the bass player. So we're doing all that plus trying to be entertaining to the people out there. Right. So you as a front man, you know what it's like. You got to pick out the people so you're just paying attention, who's having a good time, how you get that person into it, what's going to be the magic key to get the audience going.
Right.
So not an easy thing to do, especially within a 3-piece.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because I have 198 people on stage with me. I can stop playing.
You can hide behind them. Yeah.
You can drop out anytime you want. Somebody's got you covered.
Yeah. But I'm a front man. I have mastered the art of putting the blame on somebody else by giving them that look.
It's a trombone players this time. It's that bass player.
Yeah.
So
all you gotta do is turn around and look, and the whole audience looks at the guy that you looked at. Oh, it's his fault this time. Oh, okay.
That's right. Never the singer's fault.
Well, all this talk about all these songs has whet my appetite for a song.
Yeah, I think
it's time we get a little tune out of these guys.
I want to see how we're going to do this with just an acoustic guitar today.
Alrighty, well, we'll be right back.
Alrighty.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
Your Sunday nights just got a whole lot bluesier. Get ready for the Bus Stop Blues, a show that takes you deep into the soul of the blues with classic hits, road stories, and live jam sessions. Hosted by bluesman Kevin Purcell and me, the one and only Road Bill. The Bus Stop Blues is 2 hours of nonstop blues, banter, and badassery. Check out the Bus Stop Blues podcast at thebusstopblues.com, where you can listen on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, or any other major podcast platform. Hop on board the Bus Stop Blues, where the blues never stops rolling.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike of the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. If you've been enjoying our weekly program, we have great news for you. Just tune in to Road to Rock Radio on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, and you can hear a rebroadcast of one of our past episodes. Then again on Thursdays at 7 p.m., you can hear our most current episode brought to you by the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
So go to roadtorock.org, scroll down and click on radio station. That'll bring you to the Road to Rock Radio, a station committed entirely to the great music from Illinois, from Chicago blues born on Maxwell Street to today's rock and roll and everything in between. 24/7, all music with its roots in Illinois.
Hey, we're back, everybody, for the first time tonight. We've got my 80s band playing a really cool song for you right now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Moving forward, using all my breath. Making love to you was never second best. I saw the world crashing all around your face. Never really knowing it was all better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you. Dream of better lives, a kind winds never hate. Stuck in a state of imaginary grace. I saw the pilgrimage you saved this human race. Never comprehending the race was long, long gone by. I'll stop the world and melt with you. I'll stop the world. You see the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. Let's stop the world. I'll stop the world and melt with you. The future open wide. I'll stop the world and melt with you. I'll stop the world. You see the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world. I'll stop the world and melt with you. The future open wide. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'll stop the world and melt with you. I'll stop the world. You see the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. Please stop the world. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
All right.
I mean, the song's basic as anything, just
Yeah.
seeing up, really.
Yeah.
But then when you have the tracks in there kind of going in the background, it helps and fleshes things out. And again, our bass player is so funky. He never does any of the bass lines from the actual songs.
Right.
I mean, he creates his own thing. So he's slapping it and doing everything behind it. And when you go into that, I mean, everyone's screaming it, whether they're drunk or not, they're screaming it out or having a time. So
Yeah, it's probably better when they are drunk and they're all trying to do that. Oh, it sounds like a bunch of
Yeah. And we always
Steve Martin in the
recommend.
church.
yeah.
I was just thinking while they were playing, this is probably one and only time that the drummer's going to leave with less equipment than anybody else.
I love this. We need some more gigs like this.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. I was just, as he was doing, I was thinking we should have like a studio cajon or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Easy and
Yeah, that is if you go on to any like coffee house covers, from like satellite radio or anything like that, that is a big thing nowadays. Is people are reworking and doing covers of 80s music all the time. I just heard what's is it? I believe it's New Order, the song Blue Monday by New Order.
Great song.
I heard a guy do that solo on an acoustic guitar and he slowed it down, turned it into a ballad, and it was fantastic.
I love when people do that. Yeah. I mean, I love when they take something and just put in the creativity and basically make something original out of it.
Yeah.
Take the melody, take the rhythms of the song and just make something unique out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I liked the Unplugged series on VH1 so much. 'Cause a lot of times you'd see the actual artists do that with their own music. And I thought it was really cool. Yeah. They played it the way they wrote it when they were just sitting at the kitchen table with the guitar. And it always sounds
playing
different.
it for thousands of times. They're like, we need to do it a different way because this is getting boring.
Right. This song means something to me now that I'm 35 years older than I was when I wrote it. Let's play it a little different way. Yeah. Excellent. I did. I was watching. Remember that show Scrubs? There was an episode. It was like the saddest episode of the series ever, where every doctor in the hospital had lost a patient, and the angel of death was in the hospital that day, dressed up in scrubs, walking around with an acoustic guitar, and it was Colin Hay from Men at Work.
Okay,
and as their
Nice.
their patients passed away, he's the angel of death, helping their souls leave their body, and he's playing Overkill. Talk about ghosts appear and fade away and stuff, but he's doing it slowly like a ballad. And when I heard that, I went and looked for it online, and I was like, man, this is better than the poppy thing that ever had been played on the radio. So in my acoustic solo stuff, that's the way I do that song. It's really cool version of that song.
I mean, Clapton was one of the first that did that with like Layla.
Right.
I mean, like two completely different songs.
Completely,
And the acoustic one is awesome.
The first time I heard it, I didn't even recognize it as Layla.
Yeah.
He even sang the words so differently. I couldn't even recognize it when he started singing the lyrics. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool.
That's the cool thing is like when you do that, especially when you slow it down and strip it down, the lyrics come into focus. You may have not even, listened to the lyrics before, but now the lyrics are actually like coming out.
Well, you couldn't hear them half the time because the music was loud.
Right. So who's coming out to see your show? Are you finding that it's more, older people like us, or is it a pretty wide
easy?
Quit saying us. Jeez.
About 65% women.
Oh, okay.
Okay, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
Which is our goal in the first place.
Right.
Because, we're dogs. And if the ladies are there, the guy's going to be following along. So
that's right.
That's what works really well for us. The ladies are out there having fun, dancing. This music's colorful. It's fun. It's upbeat. It's danceable.
Right.
Whereas, some of the other stuff is, unless you get white boy dancing or something like that, got that going. But, But
and we find like younger people, they like it too, surprisingly. Sometimes you would think that they wouldn't be into it, but they are. And some of them even know the words. I don't know how they know the words to these songs, but
80s, like I mentioned when we first started, both of my kids just graduated from college. They're 22 and 23 years old. And 80s parties on college campuses are all the rage.
No.
I mean, their last year of college, they were both kind of over the whole partying thing or whatever, but they could be mid-sentence and somebody says, hey, we're going to a party over at so-and-so's place tonight. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna stay. It's an 80s party. Okay, I'll be right there. I mean,
and my 80s are there. You better get there.
What is old is new.
Yeah, right.
These guys are from the 80s.
Yeah, they're authentic, man. They're authentic. Come and see them. Yeah.
But it's been going great though. I mean, our turnout's been nice. Again, clubs are paying us good money to come out and play. It's easy setup with just 3 people. We play at smaller stages. So it really works out quite well. And since what we're doing, I tell you, if I had a nickel for every time a person came up to me and says, thank God you're not doing Don't Stop Believing. Thank God you're not doing, Living on a Prayer or whatever. Right. It's just, seriously, they're like, we're so burnt out on those songs. We hear it all the time. And as you know, again, no diss to the other bands because they're great bands, but they do virtually the same set list. And you just swap members and you would never know. No one's going to be able to sit in with us.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? Because of the click, the tracks, and just the music we do. No one really knows it. Right. So.
Right. Yeah. Is there one song that you guys do that you think really, truly is your own cover of it?
That's a good question.
Don't You Want Me, Baby, I think. We do it pretty
We do. We kind of rock that one out. Yeah. You put me on the spot now. I'm going through all the songs in my head. But Don't You Want Me by Human League. Definitely. We have our own kind of take on it. It's more of a kind of raw version of it with the guitars.
Yeah.
Can you do that? Can you do that here? Give us a bit of it. I'm just curious.
I took you by, turn you around, turn you into someone new. 5 years place for you, put you where you are now. I can put you back there too. Don't you want me? No, I can't believe it when I hear that you won't see me. Don't you want me? No, I don't believe it when I hear that you won't see me. What's too late to find? Then change your mind. Better change it back or we'll be both be sorry. Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh, don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh, I was working that waitress in the cocktail bar. That much is true. 5 years later on, I got my world at your feet, even with or without you. 9 years later on, I got the world at your feet, and I still want you. Now I gotta figure out my life on my own. Guess that's what I must do. Don't you want me? You know I can't believe it when I hear that you won't see me. Don't you want me? You know I don't believe you when I hear that you won't see me. What's late to find? Then change your mind. Better change it back or will they both be sorry? Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh, don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh. Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh, don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh, don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh, don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh.
Nice. Yeah.
Now,
I can hear
a lot
that.
of distortion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you're trying to do the dive bomb and it's not quite working on the acoustic guitar, I get that.
That's
So
why I
to do
keep
the
on,
drag
just
down
keep
and-
on slapping with the right hand, you know.
And just when it came in, I was like, okay, do they track in the female voice? But no, no, you guys do it.
We had a female singer initially, but
Okay.
we just ended up parting ways. No
Okay.
bad terms or anything, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. No, good. That's totally cool. I'd want to see that, I think. So when you add something into it, you're just adding a little keyboard into it. I'm assuming, is that what you're putting into it?
Yeah, a lot of the tracks, all it does is beef things up, because we'd have just too much of a gap in there. So a lot of it is, they use a lot of arpeggiators, for example, in the 80s stuff, so it kind of fills in those gaps and gives it more of a kind of pumpy feel,
Right.
Because you definitely need it, like we do a New Sensation or Devil Inside by NXS.
Oh, yeah, right.
You need to have that bum, 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 bum,
Right.
bum, 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 bum. If you don't have it, the whole song just falls apart. I've done it in previous bands, and it's just not the same if you don't have that, or a New Sensation, you need to have that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So,
Right.
Like I say, it's really not putting too much lipstick on the pig. Let's put it that way. It's just putting enough stuff on there to kind of give it a little bit more body.
Yeah, we definitely don't rely on them. So, and sometimes things happen. We got to shut the tracks off in the middle of the song and continue on.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It's pretty common for us. So it's, most of the times, people don't. Really
Sorry,
even
folks.
notice.
Keyboard player got pissed. He went home.
He quit.
He's got the backdoor trots tonight. He had to run to the bathroom.
Is there any original 80s music you guys do?
Original 80s music.
You've written?
No, we don't do any original stuff.
Nothing like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dave does original stuff, but
I released my CD about 4 or 5 years ago. It's definitely more like, as I tell people, if Paul Rogers of Bad Company joined the Eagles and hit Ted Nugent on guitar, that's more what my stuff is like.
Okay.
But Ziggy's done some original stuff as well with his thing. So,
Right.
but like I said, we come from just a different background with the band we were doing before. We just didn't think things were progressing the way we wanted to. So we just decided to just happenstance. We're just kind of talking while we're still in the other band about this material, and we just had a kindred spirits on it. We just kind of said, okay, well, let's go and try it. Let's do it.
It's fun. It's fun music.
It really
it is.
is. You know, I mean, yes,
Yeah. I've done that song 1,000 times. I've always felt guilty singing that song. I guess the words are a little creepy, but
Yes, they are.
Well, the good thing for a singer, though, it's just the same freaking words twice.
Yeah.
You know, we need that. I mean, I don't know about you, but I space stuff,
yeah.
you know, consistently. You know, like we were doing something, talk about the tracks, how to turn it off. You ever had just complete brain fart on stage? I mean, just like, what is the freaking word? I forgot.
Never. That's never happened to me.
You know, so we do this segue from Rebel Yell going into White Wedding and back into Rebel Yell. And so when it came for us to do the White Wedding part, I'm sitting there like,
Okay.
words.
What are they? Yeah.
And that was an instance where the tracks got turned off and we just jammed. And waited for Dave to figure out what song he was playing and then come back to it somehow. But you know what? It worked. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got this metal stamp thing hanging in my basement, and it says, you know, it's an art form to sing the wrong words with confidence, and I'm an artist. Yeah.
Repeat that first verse, baby.
Just repeat the first verse, or whichever one you can remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Confidence, that's it.
Combination plan or whatever works, you know. But
Or just mumble.
Yeah, that works too. As long as you come up with syllables,
Right.
You know, and hit the vowels, not the consonants.
Yep.
I mean, poof, you're instant Eddie Vedder.
Yep.
You know.
yeah. But and you know, like so, we do some, you know, like I said, Rebel Yell, White Wedding. We do a good rocked up version of that, and so we kind of branch out. We do the Cure, the Cult. You know, Animotion, we do Obsession by them, which would prototypical have a guy, girl singer on there. Gary Newman, we're doing Robert Palmer. Right now we're doing Elvis Costello, Pump It Up, which is a great song. Isn't it a great song now, Zig?
Yeah, he's been trying to do that song for a couple of years now, and we finally did it. And I got to say, I like it. Cool tune.
Yeah, I can tell he's in my school, right? You can have Elvis Costello. I've never been a fan.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I got to give it to him. You know, it's okay. I mean, once you play it, it's different. It's like, okay, this is fun to play.
Yeah. And we really try with, especially the big difference with the old band was before with the girl and with the other bass player and Jerome. Jerome adds so much funk and groove to everything. I mean, he really does.
Yeah, he's very percussive. So
Jerome
the drums.
Jerome who? No, what's his last name?
We call him Jerome.
McCain.
Or
Kane.
It's Kane. Jerome Kane.
Jerome K. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I know a funky bass playing Jerome too. I was wondering, and he plays in a lot of bands. I was wondering if it was the same guy.
This the only band Jerome's in is with us and stuff. And, you know, like we're doing, One Bites the Dust. So, you know, he just really just slays it down. We do, when we do Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf, he does a bass solo in the middle of it. When we do Whip It by Devo, you know, he lays out a really good comment. Right. I mean,
you have to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just slams on people's skulls. So again, we present it with more attitude than probably the way is how a lot of these bands from the 80s, if they're doing these tours, are the way they're doing it now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, they're not doing it the old 80s way. They're doing like, slamming it out, making it rock out more. So that's what we have done. We've embraced that.
Right. So what do you guys have coming up in like July? Like what kind of dates you guys have?
July is pretty busy for us. Yeah. I think we have a South Bend Casino, the Four Winds in July.
Yeah.
Some of the big ones. We got a couple of festivals coming
Festival
up.
season is among us.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we're pretty booked. I mean, right now, I'm booked we're booked almost every single weekend.
Yeah.
Till October.
Okay. Wow.
You know, and it's been a lot of work. I mean, I'm the primary booker of the band and stuff, and it's been a lot of calls, a lot of emails, a lot of texts. You know how it goes,
right?
And so we've been real fortunate to do that, and we're playing everywhere from a couple of weeks where I'm the 23rd of May, we're going to be up at the pub at Maple Park.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah.
Because today is June 24th.
That's right.
Don't scare me like that.
It was great. It was a fantastic show,
It was
man.
an awesome show.
I loved
It was wonderful.
Then the morning of May 24th, we're playing at Soldier Field.
Okay.
We're playing for a 10K run there.
Nice.
But we got to be there 6 in the morning after doing the gig the night before.
Oh, jeez.
Then,
Pass.
because we're insane, or because I'm insane, May 24th evening, True Country in Shanahan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a cool place. I just played there myself. What a cool place that is. Have you guys been there before?
No, I've been there, but we haven't played there. That electric flag they got.
Yeah,
is cool.
yeah. Although it's going to be warmer out now, so you guys could be on the patio. They've got a backdoor patio and it opens up and the whole, but it's actually bigger than the bar inside, so that might be a cool thing.
Oh,
Sounds like bar is not big. I was worried about like, where were we going to? Again, lucky we're a 3-piece. Because if we were anything bigger than it, we couldn't do that.
Oh, yeah,
And like I said, June 7th, we're playing at Four Winds Casino in New Buffalo. I just go on and on and on.
Yeah, one of the ones close by is we got the new Line X VFW on July 26th.
Oh, okay.
So that's the closest around here. Maple Park, which is out there.
That's up north, yeah.
Yeah, we got a Munster, Indiana festival. We got a Whiting, Indiana festival coming up.
June 6th, we're playing at Semino's. Your trumpet guy, I think, got me that gig.
Carlo?
Yeah, Carlo got me the gig.
No
They were
kidding.
playing at Semino's. They're over there at the Inwood Ice Arena.
Yeah.
We're playing there on the 6th. On the 5th, we're playing at the Midlothian Park District in Millennium Park. Let's see, we're playing the Uptown Tap in Plainfield on the 13th of June, which is cool. It's our first time there. They really wanted us to be out there.
Good people there. You'll like that place.
Yeah, it's a nice venue. We're playing in Whiting, which is literally a block from his house. Playing downtown Whiting. They have a nice stage out there.
What was that Uptown Tap date?
June 13th.
June 13th.
Yeah.
Hopefully I am not playing anywhere.
Come on down. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we are. Cadillac Groove is playing the rooftop of the historical building right next door.
Okay.
That's a big, although that ends early. So, and I mean, I can walk to Uptown Tap from my house. I'm going to have to check you guys out.
Absolutely.
Come on out, man.
I think we're starting. Let me look and see what Mr. Calendar
Jump on stage with us, sing some Duran Duran.
Some Duran Duran.
You grew up with Duran Duran. You loved it back then.
Yeah. 8 to 11. So we'll be there. Then, like I said, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We've been very, very blessed in the amount of gigs we've had for this band.
Right.
It's really been great.
Excellent.
So
how can people find you? You got a website they can go to and just download a calendar or what?
Yes. My80sband.com. My 80s Band on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing on Instagram, My 80s Band. And yes, we have all our events on there, all 3 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I enjoyed listening to you guys. Enjoyed talking to you guys. Thanks for being,
Thank you.
Thank you for being so candid about working with tracks and doing everything, because we've never really talked about that before. And I know there's people out there that are like, especially solo artists. How do I do a solo gig and then, have some tracks for myself without using a looper? Because I hate doing that too. That's like tap dancing to me. When you're trying to do all that stuff.
I do acoustic shows as well, and I know what you mean. But the thing is, I found initially that when we were talking about doing tracks, I'm like, crap, I almost feel like you're giving in or you're being discriminated against and stuff like that. But again, the thing I think that we do different is we use it as a color. We don't use it as the core. There's some bands that are out there that they can stop playing their instruments completely.
And you still hear
where they are, and you still, and everything's still going.
Right.
We're not that. And if we mess up, I mean, that's like that train going down the tracks. There's nothing stopping that train short of his finger stopping the track that we have. How do we catch back up? So we know these songs inside, outside, backwards, forwards. And you just gotta be like that. You gotta be in your game. You can't be a half-baked player, or if you're timing waivers or something like that, you'll feel it. The whole thing will just not be on.
Right.
So it's a lot of work to do that.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely difficult. As a drummer, I'm still learning how to play with the click track. And I've been playing for years, but it's a learning experience every day.
And I hate the sound of click tracks too. Every time I've had to play one, it's just a terrible sound. Give me something different. Make it sound like kick drum or something. I don't like that click, 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 click.
Also, again, you're playing along chorus 3, 2, 1, verse 3. So you got that, But the thing I just read the other day, I even think I told you about it, but I guess they have these things that you could strap to your guitar strap, for example, and just provides a pulse.
Right.
So then you don't have to worry about a click, and then so people, I guess, stay on time better by the pulse.
Plus, if you have a kidney stone, they can work.
Yeah.
Work through the
cardiac
kidney
arrest.
stone. Yeah. All right, fellas.
All righty. Thanks for coming out,
I think
guys.
that's a wrap. Yeah, it was great meeting you guys. Great
A lot of
talking to
fun.
you guys.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Chicago.